Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Roy. Hi, Roy. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. Come in, hang out. Come on, grab a seat. Grab a seat. I want to tell Buse to reach out to me.
Yeah. I
recommended
doing that.
Did you? Oh, that's sweet. That's good.
Yeah.
I'd love to help.
And my brother too.
Is he doing it too?
On it. It's over.
Woo! Hell yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. We did talk about it in the same club. Hey everyone, welcome to Loser Leaves Wrestling. Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the weekly wrestle. Weekly wrestle.
It sure is, pal. Episode 2.
Episode 2 of the weekly wrestle. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is our we're trying to take over. We're trying to take over right now, one step at a time. We have to start having guests. We have to start planning guests coming on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I have a list in my head of people to bring on the show to talk wrestling, to talk news, and also to talk Rampage and Dynamite.
That's right.
How you been, Royster? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm low energy today, but I'm good. I had a big breakfast and it slowed me down.
Got it. This tough idiots just holding them down. What'd you have? What'd you eat?
I got there's a place here called Biscuits and Groovy. I got that. It was like, it's like 3 biscuits and then eggs and cheese and meat, potatoes.
Welcome. Yes, sir. I wish I did that. I was gonna get pancakes this morning, but I stayed out a little late last night.
Ooh.
A little late. I got to get a little drunk. A little drunk. Thank you all so much for joining. This is the weekly wrestle with Loser Leaves Wrestling crew, and we're gonna start off talking about AEW Dynamite. Not Dynamite. AEW Rampage. We're gonna talk about what happened last night on AEW Rampage, and it was a fine show.
Yeah. I have some thoughts. Mostly positive.
Something surprised me, but let's get it in here. Tam, if you could hit that first slide. We start AEW Rampage with Darby Allin, Billy Gunn. Darby Allin versus Billy Gunn, and they have a surprisingly it felt like Darby was the underdog.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that in a way he is, because of Billy Gunn's size. And I thought to myself while watching this, like, Billy Gunn works better as a giant than he does as like an actual worker. And in this company, he's a giant. Yes, he does. And honestly, and here's a shot of him giving the DX crotch chop right to Darby Allin's face. Honestly, I don't mind Billy Gunn in this. It was a little bit too heavy-handed for Billy Gunn to be winning. So like I was expecting that in the beginning. You know, he has injured ribs. He's a huge guy, but he was really beating the shit out of Darby Allin, and I thought that was a little bit much. No, yeah, the dive spot when Darby does the dive and Billy Gunn kind of sidesteps him, that was brutal. There's a few things brutal. Yeah. Like when he just grabbed his arm and threw him out of the ring, like that was rough. I was a little too dominant, but the Gun Club talking shit was pretty great. I'm actually very into his sons being his cheerleaders and the Gun Club just like kind of like amping him on. Very exciting stuff. But one thing that bothered me is that it took 2 coffin drops to put him away. He kicked out at 1 for that first coffin drop. That was what made me mad and made me turn the show off the first time, because because he's beaten people with that. Like, he's beaten major like players in AEW with that move, and you're gonna have Billy Gunn kick out at 1. 58-year-old Billy Gunn. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care about his size. I don't care about any of those things. Billy Gunn isn't worth that. Billy Gunn should not be kicking out of that move at 1. It should not be happening. That was the only offense he really got the entire match. Yeah, like, for the most part, it's pretty intense. Very weird. But he won. He won with a second coffin drop it took to put away badass Billy Gunn. He also threatened to pull down his pants at one time when there was a Mr. Ass chant. That's funny. But after the match, we get the Gun Club attacking. And I think, you could hit the next slide, Tam. I think we're going to see Billy Gunn versus Sting. Sure. I'm actually cool with this. I'm not. Are you not? You hate this idea. You
I
hate
go
the
back and forth. I go back and forth because you need to feed someone to Sting and Darby Allin. So it might as well be the Gun Club. But I can't help but think like there's got to be someone better than the Gun Club for this spot. But at the same time, maybe there isn't. Who knows? I'm into it. I'm ultimately into it because the Gun Club's starting to grow on me a little bit. I kind of like the Gun Club.
I like the Gun Club, but I like this as a vehicle for Sting. I like Sting versus Billy being a thing for Sting to get a good win on Billy, and also just like I'm interested in that match. When they stand next to each other, looks good.
Yeah.
They probably have a good, simple match. What do you say?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's better than Sting versus Tully, which they've also teased. I don't need to see Sting versus Tully.
Oh man, I don't need to see Sting versus Tully, but our Tully versus Arn, yes.
Yeah, that's a different start. That's great.
Give them leather straps.
Yeah, right.
Let them just whip each other's butts.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Hit the next slide there, Tam. We're gonna come to Tony Schiavone with QT Marshall. This is the official what of the evening.
Terrible. This is terrible.
Not only was it a bad little segment, but also it gave me dread for that being CM Punk's next opponent in Chicago. Why, if you're going to have CM Punk in Chicago, I guess it's just to give him a very easy win. But man, does he need it?
No, look, he fought Seidel and he fought Powerhouse Hobbs. And now he's going to fight Marshall. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not give him like a more opponent that's more interesting in Chicago for the Chicago crowd? Like, he can squash somebody pretty quick, but like, let it be someone who's interesting.
Yeah. And I
not like QT Marshall.
I like the Bryan Danielson versus Colt Cabana, but honestly, CM Punk versus Colt Cabana is what we want to see.
Yeah.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
In Chicago?
I know.
But he wouldn't do that because CM Punk would get booed. I think he would. I think people would be more behind Colt for because everyone's keeping up. Everyone's kept up with the comings and goings, especially in Chicago. If it's CM Punk and Colt there, I think that there's going to be just a decent amount of boos for CM Punk.
I like to think that's true. Just because Cabana deserves it. I think Cabana just getting to wrestle on TNT in Chicago against a guy like Danielson, who he has a long history with, like as a human being. Like were close friends. Cabana made the Wrestling Road Diaries documentary himself, and it was about basically him and Danielson traveling the roads together. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be, I think it's going to be more competitive than the Uno match. I mean, I think Cabana loses.
Oh yeah.
But
and I love that matchup because no one in the wrestling world today wrestles like Colt Cabana. Maybe like 1980s England, people wrestle like Colt Cabana, but no one in the wrestling world today does the type of at times cutesy but effective and intelligent spots. I'm very excited for this. Very, very excited.
I think a lot of people aren't realizing how like good that match can possibly be. I think there's going to be a lot of chain wrestling. There's going to be a lot of things that maybe we're not expecting, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sound off if you agree. We know you're out there, you people, you couple. It's a couple watching on two different screens. We have to move on. Next up, hit the next slide there, Tam. Thank you so much, Tam. Everyone give it up for Tam once you're in here. Give it up for Tam. We got a Jericho Inner Circle Alpha top team or top team, American top team little segment. And then we followed up with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page.
Yep.
I got it right. Ethan Page. And they say nothing of interest. I wrote Scorpio and Ethan have nothing to say.
Yeah. Nope.
And Ethan dresses like an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not I'm fine with that look, but I just feel it doesn't make sense. He's just someone that tries everything. He does everything all at once. And I feel like it makes him nothing because he's doing everything. No?
Sure. Yeah.
You're a big Ethan.
I don't disagree. I like Ethan Page a lot. I think he's a great wrestler. And I think he's also a good talker and can sell a program. And I think he was the MVP of that street fight that they had. I think all of his work there, the Baron von Raschke spot was like very fun.
Awesome.
And he's the one who could do that over everybody. Like, I wouldn't trust Scorpio Sky to do that and sell that the way he did.
Mhm.
And I think he can make people look good. I mean, he made Darby look great when they were feuding. He made Sammy look great when they had their match. I think he's very good for sure. But I think he's a good role player. I think he's good on a team.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. He makes, but I just feel that, I don't know, lose the shirt. Come on.
He would be the Tully of the modern day Four Horsemen. He would be the Tully. Like, he does not necessarily stand out, but he's a good talker. He's a good worker.
Mhm.
He's the one who will have the matches. You know, it's like on like the TV tapings before the big match, he's the one that has to do all the work. Like in the NWO, when it was like the original NWO and it was like Hall and Nash and Hogan, and then it was like Sean Waltman and Vincent and the Giant and all of those. Of all of those people, who's the one who's going to wrestle week in and week out? It's Sean Waltman.
Mhm.
Sean, he's like, that's Ethan Page in this scenario.
Sure. One I would really love, and I just thought about this. One who would be a better fit for this America Top Team as their manager? Like,
Who?
Dan Lambert should be doing something else. They should have Team Taz. Team Taz.
Yeah.
Taz running the show. And
Yeah.
have Taz with all those guys. Have Dan Lambert, just have big guys. He should have Hobbs. He should have Cage. Not Cage, but you know what I'm saying. But either way, I don't know. We'll figure this out as we go. But we got a great thing next. Okay, could you hit that next slide, Tam? We get the match of the night. We have the match of the night next. Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. What are you laughing? You think it's?
Well, I didn't see the main event, but for me, this was the match of the night because I didn't see the main event.
Neither of us saw the main event. We'll talk about that in a second. But Jade versus Red Velvet. I thought this was. Neither of them have ever looked this good.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You think that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they both look this good in the Shaq match, but the Shaq match doesn't really count.
You thought they looked good in the Shaq match?
Yeah, I thought they both looked good in the Shaq match. I thought everybody looked good in that Shaq match. That Shaq match ruled. But
the Shaq match. Okay, fair. Continue.
Well, I was going to say that, like, okay, so I agree with you. I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought it was good. And I think this is a good example of, like, they absolutely screwed up multiple things in this match. But when you're intense and the energy is high and you're really like, you never lose your facial expressions, you never lose the focus and the intensity, it doesn't matter that much. And this is a good example of that because they were both super intense. They wanted to kill each other, even when, like, they tried to do like a roll up like spot and it didn't work out so well. And I don't know. There was some like screw ups, but it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Personally, I had a lot of fun watching this match.
And even the screw ups, nothing was egregious. Nothing was egregious. And like you said, they were both fired up the entire time. And Jade Cargill is a monster. Jade Cargill, even when she misses moves, like, you know how some people goes for a clothesline and they duck and the clothesline looks like it wasn't supposed to hit them. Jade Cargill, when she's going for her bicycle kick boot, or she's going for like a swing, or she's got to stop on the ground, she does it like she's a video game character. Like, it's crazy how, like, impactful even the things that doesn't hit look.
When she hits that kick, she hit that bicycle kick on Red Velvet. It was scary.
Yeah.
She crushed her. And if you look at Velvet coming up, like, she gets hit, she's holding like her chest and her neck, and she looks like shocked, like she got crushed. And I couldn't help but think about Brandy Rhodes and Rhodes to the Top being like, Red Velvet thinks you're hitting her too hard. Well, she didn't take her easy on that one. She crushed her. She crushed her on that.
Crunched her like a piece.
Yeah, which is great.
We have John Busman in the crowd. He says, Shaq match is canon. Jade's a beast. I would like to challenge everyone to watch that Shaq match again, because the Shaq match is objectively a poor showing, except for Shaq. Shaq in that match is amazing and makes everything great. But the thing is, I feel bad for the women in the match because they were the crowd was not into it and did not care.
Shaq was there.
I know that's the issue. It was just it was an awkward match, very awkward match.
And it was also like Jade Cargill's first ever match too. Like, Cargill, that's the thing about Jade. Like, yeah, when we talk about if she's sloppy or if she misses that or whatever, but she's been wrestling. Like, she just had her like 1 year anniversary in AEW. Well, she's been wrestling for 1 year too. So, like,
that's
she's
crazy.
doing just fine. She's doing just fine.
She wasn't doing anything before AEW?
I don't know. Fitness modeling potentially.
Let's say no. I'm gonna
Playing
go with
basketball. I don't know.
but we get
Did you ever see
Jade.
those promos of her playing basketball with Shaq?
Oh yeah.
Those
I
are
did
great.
see those. Those are pretty
Yeah.
good. She's just an impressive athlete. She's just honestly one of the most impressive physically impressive women in wrestling today.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's the Brock Lesnar in the women's division.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Right? Kinda.
Physically imposing, yes, but like wrestling ability, not quite.
Oh yeah, sure. We got to get there.
Well, yeah, I think Brock at this stage in his career, after 1 year in wrestling, Brock was already like very, very good at wrestling.
Sure. Brock was.
It's just got to take a little time.
Just Brock's not fair. It's not fair. Brock, God wasn't fair with Brock. But we get Jade winning with the Glam Slam. She's moving on to the TBS title tournament. And who's she facing next? Do you know who she's facing next?
The winner of Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa. So probably Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. If it's Jamie Hayter, what have they done?
I don't think it's gonna be. Gonna be.
But speaking of Thunder Rosa, could you get the next slide there, Tam? We get Thunder Rosa, and she wants to beat up the Stooges. She wants to beat up Britt Baker's Stooges, and she's going to go after Jamie Hayter. And then she says a bunch of things in Spanish. They bleep out one word, which we're not sure which one, because it was a cuss word.
It was a dirty one.
Yeah, it was a dirty cuss word. This was fine. The nothing of note, right?
Yeah.
It was just
I think this just it brings me back to all roads lead to her versus Britt Baker. I don't expect Thunder Rosa to win this tournament. I think either she loses in the finals or she loses to Jade Cargill, which could absolutely be a possibility. It could be Ruby Soho versus Jade Cargill in the finals.
I kind of want Jade Cargill to win. I just want Jade Cargill to win. I think it's the That Bitch Show. Could you hit that net? You son of a yawning like Winnie the Pooh. Could you hit the next slide there, Tam? Next up, we get just like, oh, Bob, just like rubbing your tummy from all the big breakfast you had. You're just all tuckered out. Literally, I could see you with a smack roll of honey. Gosh. That fun? We're all having fun today. And so that next, I think you already hit the next slide. I'm not sure because of the delay. Who knows? It's Tony with CM Punk. Thank you so much, Tam. I appreciate it. I just saw it now. Tony with CM Punk, and Punk has nothing to say. It's just it felt. Yeah,
because why would CM Punk have anything to say about QT Marshall? Who cares? He's gonna crush him in 30 seconds, and who cares?
What are they even doing? Why does it have to be QT? There are other people.
There's so many other people.
Have it be Joey Janela.
Yeah. Have it beat Joey Janela in 2 minutes. That would have been fine.
Hell, even a little longer, because let Joey Janela run around the ring and kind of not want to fight, build up some heat for it. But like Joey Janela, people actually care about. And they want to see get beaten up. QT Marshall, it's just they don't want him on the show.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Next up, Tam, clip or picture there. Interesting. Mark Henry. Mark Henry is doing his main event thing. And so he's doing it with Jurassic Express and Super Elite. Honestly, I feel like this should be before every match on Rampage. These are fun little segments. I think this
was the best one.
This is like a good little segment. And I just feel like it gives it a flavor that no other show has, let's make this special. At least in its own way, make it like its own little, Saturday night main event, not main event, but like something like that, make it special.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I completely agree. I don't know if it would probably be less special if it was done before every match though, even though, it's just 3 matches. So maybe it could be, but I love these segments. I think Mark Henry's doing a great job. I thought both promos from each guy was good. Jungle Boy had a good line. Where he said the first ever Bobby Fish match I saw was the match I beat you in. It's pretty funny.
I thought he messed up when he said that. He's like, the first ever Bobby Fish match I saw, I beat you. I thought he was trying to say something like, first match I was in with you. I thought he made a mistake, but that actually makes more sense. And one more slide, Tam. It's a Jurassic Express versus the Undisputed Era, and neither of us watched it.
Yeah,
Neither of us
I haven't seen this match yet. I hear it's good. I'll watch it. I plan on watching it.
I plan on watching it too, because it is the Undisputed Era, and I really want to figure out where they're going with this. But I do know, I think Jurassic Express won.
Probably. I would assume that this right here, this snare trap is probably what finished it on Bobby Fish.
The bear trap is the Bear Country's finishing move, the bear trap.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true. I think it should be though. Yeah, that's the end of AEW Rampage. That is Rampage. And now we're going on to the news. The news you can't lose. The news you can't lose. It's from November. Could you hit the next slide, Tam? We're going into the news now. We're going to November 14th to November 20th. Wow, what a week we've had. A lot of stuff happening. And I ordered the I like this. I like when you have the mic in your hand because it feels just much more like you're getting into it. It's just like
I'm ready to get into it. If we're going to talk about these things,
well, I started off with a little weird.
Sure.
With where I started off with, because I want to start with just AEW talk first.
Okay.
So AEW right now, the top of the news is Kenny Omega is going to be taking some time off. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries right now. He's dealing with multiple surgeries coming down the line. He's got torn labrum. He's been wrestling with a hernia, bad knees, and vertigo since 2018, where he's in the match and the ring starts spinning. This is long overdue, and I'm excited for the break. Are you?
Yeah, I am. I think you can hit the reset button on Kenny. I don't necessarily know if he needs the reset button, but you can do it, and they will do it. And it sets up a potential match with Adam Cole, or he comes back and does the Bryan Danielson thing, and then he's suddenly fresh. And he's also healthy again, hopefully, which he hasn't been in like 3 years. So maybe he can actually take some time to actually get healthy and spend more time working on that video game. I want to know a release date.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that video game. We're going to talk about video games in a little bit. But one thing about what I think with all champions, after they lose, take time off.
Yeah,
I think they all should take off. I don't think they should jump into another feud unless it's like it's meant for, but for the most part, I think champions should never go after the title after that, and they should take a 2-month break, and then they have to climb back up because I need that break. I think it's healthy and also makes us miss them or figure out where they're going or give them a fresh coat of paint, paint of coat.
I mean, look at Miro. Miro lost the TNT title and he was off TV for a while. Would probably still be off TV if Moxley hadn't had to go to rehab and he had to be replaced. Which is the right move, especially for a guy like Miro, a guy like Kenny, like bad guy champions who are dominant and they finally lose, they should take some time off. I agree.
Because they look like idiots when they lose the championship and then they just go into another feud rather than just going back after the championship,
Yeah.
Like it feels weird. Having that space away, I think, is important.
And it's also with a roster as big as AEW's, you can afford to take some time off and like it won't hurt the product that much because there's someone else who can slot into that role for the period of time that you're gone.
100%. We have some other injuries though. Hit the next slide there, Tam. We got Malachi Black has reportedly got injured from Full Gear. But no real word on what that is. Eddie Kingston apparently has some bad shoulders that he's been dealing with. But then he's just like, no, my shoulders are fine, whatever. But I think he's just like kind of pushing through because he's at the hottest point of his career right now.
Yeah, he's got to keep going.
If he took a break now, that would really suck.
Yeah.
I don't need him to wrestle all the time though. I think he could take a little time away where he's just like going to these backstage brawls or he's trying to like Tony. Why would be great? This would be a great angle for Tony Khan, where he could participate a little bit and be like, listen, Eddie, you're fighting people backstage. I'm going to suspend you. I need to suspend you and make it like a Stone Cold Steve Austin after his neck injury. Have him kind of like be this periphery character that's fighting backstage but not getting wrestling, kind of just building up, making people want to see him wrestle again.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Do you hate that?
I don't hate that. I think that would be good. I think if anybody could be Stone Cold on this roster, it's Eddie.
Yeah. Agreed. Next slide there, Tam.
We have Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood just also got knocked loopy at Full Gear. He got knocked loopy in that match, and that was a weird ending to that match.
Well, that
Frog
could
masks.
explain. Yeah, that could explain why that was the ending of that match.
No, it was planned ending, but they only had Cash Wheeler to actually do it now. You know, it was supposed to be like they were going to do that mask thing anyway, but it was supposed to make more sense if you saw both of them, you know? So.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
Or something. Jim Cornette hated it. Jim Cornette absolutely hated it. He despised that thing. And he's just like, who talked FDR into doing that? Who talked them into they wouldn't do it with their own volition? They would hate that. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Goddamn heel. Like I'm doing the Bruce Pritchard doing.
Yeah, the Bruce Pritchard impression. God damn it.
God damn it, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Really we're having a lot of fun, JC. We're fine with you, JC. I was about to say we love you, and that's not true. True. But yeah, so FTR, but they're continuing this feud. I guess he's not too bad after that, you know, so it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're hiding the mic from your yawn.
No.
Put the mic in.
No, I was just thinking about it because I was thinking about whether he was on TV this past week, and he was. They were in that backstage segment together.
They were.
I keep thinking about. Now that I have the mic in my hand, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I should keep it on the stand. I'm gonna keep it on the stand.
No, it's all fun. We're all having fun here. Hit that next slide there, Tam. We got this is just a slight news. I don't even know why it's in my news, but Cody has deactivated his Twitter. Cody,
you know what's funny? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, is this guy working us all? Is this all part of it? This might all be part of it.
He has been working us all from the very beginning.
Oh my God.
This is never like that. I'll never turn. He knows what he's fucking doing.
He knows what he's doing.
And Jim Cornette, bless his soul, he thought of something recently. He's just like, in that match, there are points in that match, that tag team they had at Full Gear, where Pac was getting beaten up and Cody was just selling on the outside like he was dizzy. And when Pac needed to go for the tag, he wasn't there. Why else would you do that unless you're trying to make him a heel?
Yeah.
Why else would you do that? Someone have an answer for me?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
And that's what Jim Cornette thought. Fuck him. God damn it. I hate that I keep referencing him. He's going heel. That has to be. He's going heel.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around this. You can't ignore the fans this much. But actually, I like it. Keep ignoring the fans because it's getting them more riled up. Like they are like if you keep this going for a few months where he's refusing and he's doing all these things, trying to be the best Ernest, eating sandwiches, American pie, you know, all that bullshit, and then he just it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said he's eating sandwiches. Next slide there.
He loves sandwiches.
I was trying to think of white bread. I was just like American pie, sliced bread.
Yeah, he's just eating Wonder Bread.
He's just eating Wonder Bread.
The package.
It's straight out the package. Next up, we have official signing from AEW. Jay Lethal is all elite. And he had his match against Sammy Guevara this past Dynamite, and it was a fine match, and we discussed it in the archives.
I thought it was a good match, but I guess he's got some troubling things tied to his name, which I wasn't aware of.
Does he? Oh.
Yeah. He's got some speaking out allegations tied to his name a little bit. But I don't know a lot about it though. I don't know a lot about it.
You heard it here first, folks. Roy says he's a scumbag.
I heard it from other people.
Man, jeez.
Something, a lawsuit potentially about sexual harassment or something, some kind potentially.
Well, if anyone knows, share with the LLW family. Let us know at loserleespod@gmail.com. We need a wrestling. We need a website. We need loserleeswrestling.com or LLW.com before it gets taken.
That's a good idea.
Pretty good.
You're the king of the domains.
I used to be. But we're moving on. Hit the next slide there, Tam. My favorite piece of news. My favorite piece of news of the week. Conrad Thompson is teasing something. Conrad Thompson, the Podfather. He's with Arn Anderson, Grill and Jim Ross, and the Kurt Angle show, and our favorite, My World with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
He is teasing that there's a lot of talent out there, a lot of Ring of Honor, WWE talent.
Did you make that picture?
No, I found it. It's actually a pretty funny picture. That's a really funny picture, but I actually should give credit to where these pictures are coming from. I got them from wrestlinginc.com, and that one's a Google search. That one's a Google. I should probably give some more credit to people before we get in trouble.
If you go to the LLW Twitter, we reacted to Conrad Thompson's saucy tweets about the idea of starting the company.
Did you?
Yeah, I just wrote, it is happening.
It's big. It's big. I would love it. And Jeff Jarrett, I think this would be actually a really good team. Jeff Jarrett understands wrestling business. I don't know how well he understands creative, but he understands wrestling. Conrad's got his finger on the pulse, has a lot of connections, seems to have a good amount of money.
A shitload of money. He's got a mortgage company, as we all know.
Yeah.
And he's got like 17 different offices. So this guy's got a lot of employees. He's got a big business. He's got a lot of money. And he knows he's a smart businessman. At the end of the day, he's a smart businessman who also gets wrestling. And he also, talk about sitting under the learning tree. Homeboy has sat with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff, and just listened to them tell stories for the last 4 years. Yeah, exactly. And Jeff Jarrett, who he's going to be working with. And Jarrett will do what Jeff Jarrett does. He'll bring in Dutch Mantell. Dutch will be one of his creative guys. He will not bring in. Sure, maybe, yeah. He's not going to bring in Russo, which was the major issue in TNA, was Russo. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like a simple, old school, Southern style wrestling promotion that's going to tell simple, straightforward stories and be a little weird sometimes.
Honestly, I just want them to grab the NWA.
Yeah, I just think they should take over the NWA too.
I think they should take over the NWA.
They don't need another new brand. You've got the NWA title. You know, he loves Nick Aldis. GWF for
wrestling.
Global Force Wrestling. He'll bring back Global Force.
Sure.
My World Wrestling.
My World. My World.
MWW.
That's really funny. But we'll find out. We're all very excited about it. Big stuff on the horizon. We'll see. Moving on. You can hit the next slide there, Tam. We're back in WWE country. We've got some releases. And these are less surprising, just some upsetting, honestly. Let's go through a few of them and give me your reactions to each one. Jackson Riker.
Yeah, bye-bye. See ya.
Deuces. I hope no one picks you up.
Have fun getting out of wrestling forever.
Yeah, he's gross. Now this is a sad one. Drake Maverick.
Did you see the video he put out after he got released? It was good. It
was pretty special.
I think he's going to be fine. It's sad because he got his job back by crying on a video about it. And then they were like, great, here's your job. Then we're never going to do anything with you again. And now we're going to release you again. And he says all of that in the video, essentially. So,
yeah, it's a great video. We should all check it out. Honestly, I think he'd be an asset anywhere he goes. Absolutely anywhere he goes. I think he's a great talker. He's a great mind, a wonderful wrestler. And even in the video, he makes the points just like, I made moments out of everything they gave me.
He's fucking
everything they gave me. They give him make him a manager. He makes a moment out of that. They put him with Killian Dane, one of the best tag teams for that short period of time where they cared about him. Like fun dynamic. Then he comes back and everyone loves the fact when he returned. Like he's a superstar. So
he can do some stuff.
Next we have Tegan Knox.
It's pretty sad because she's a great wrestler. I hope she finds a place somewhere. Yeah, she blew up both of her knees.
Like back to back.
Yeah, really kind of scary. But she had some moments. She had some good moments in NXT. And I'm sure she'll latch on somewhere. She's a good worker.
Yeah. And now we've got the rest of Hit Row. So we lost B-Fab, the original, the first, and then they just got rid of just a slew of other, like they were treating them like they were giving them a push, and they were treating it like they were important. The team is of Top Dollar, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Ashante the Adonis.
One of them, I read that one of them was rubbing people the wrong way backstage. So they released him, and then they were like, well, we might as well get rid of everybody else. Shane Strickland, Swerve, is great. A really great wrestler. He was great in MLW. He was great in Lucha Underground. He's been great everywhere he's gone, so I don't think he'll have a problem. If I was him, I would say, great, if you're going to book me, book the rest of us, because we're an act, and they're a great act. They're great, and they just got called up, and then they immediately get cut. I don't get it. Did you see what Tony Khan said? Somebody asked him about like contracts in the WWF, and he was or WWE, and he was like,
Ooh.
when you sign a contract with the WWE, you're not signing a contract, you're signing a temporary agreement.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
harsh.
it's not wrong.
It's not wrong because what
wrong.
is a contract if they could just break it?
Right. And then you can't work for 90 days after they break your contract.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
But we got one more release that I want to talk about. And he's the picture that I have there. My former arch rival, nemesis, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Monday, Johnny Impact, Johnny Swinger?
Nitro.
Johnny Nitro and John Morrison. He has been fired, released. Frankie Monet, Taya is very upset. And honestly, like I get why they did it because they hate people over the age of 30. And so he's great, a great personality. I just don't know where he's going to go. Maybe just back to Impact.
Probably just back to Impact. He could go anywhere, you know.
He could really go anywhere. It's just the fact. Yeah, I just don't. They'll
both probably go to Impact. It is a thing that she said, and you don't think about it when they're wrestlers, because they're not working at like Bed Bath and Beyond. But like, I saw that Ty Valkyrie said the thing of like, I'm going to say what I want to say about this company because they just took away my income and then took away my husband's income right before the holiday season. So like,
sure.
Yeah, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And I guess we don't think about that, like the time of these releases. Like, yeah, like that's a drag. It's like right before Christmas. Hanukkah starts next Sunday for all of our Jewish friends out there.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Is it next Sunday? It starts in November?
It's early. It's really early this year. It's the
Has it ever started in November?
8th through the 6th. I don't keep that that much track.
Well, I don't know. You know the history, Roy. Jeez.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
I should look it up. I'll look it up.
We're going to look it up. We're going to let you know in our Loser Lee's Wrestling Twitter, Loser Lee's Pod on Twitter. Yeah, so sad stuff. Moving on, we got to hit another one here. We got another WWE talk. Hit that next slide there, Tam. WWE makes strong offer to Gargano, which is
that true?
Weird. Yeah, they made a big offer. Him and Kyle O'Reilly, they got their contracts ending in December.
Yeah.
And they're making a big offer, a big play to keep him for several years. And I'm curious as to why.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre to me. That's a little strange to me because he's such a small guy. But
also pretty bland.
Yeah, I guess so. Whether we say he's bland or not, his best asset is his wrestling ability, and they're not going to let him do that. So why do you want to keep him?
Yeah, I maybe just have that connection of old NXT to this new NXT, and help them kind of like just have a solid worker there. That's why Tommaso Ciampa's there.
Yeah, right.
It has to
right.
be.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder. I mean, what do you do if you're him?
I'd leave. They're not taking me seriously. I'm not going to have the career that I actually want to have. There's definitely a ceiling there, and that ceiling has just been pushed down since this NXT 2.0. He could have been champion again, before 2.0. Now, no chance. Not a chance in hell.
No, and he's done it all. He's done it all in NXT, and he's not going to get anything done in WWE. I mean, even if you look at guys that their number one thing that they're good at is their wrestling, look what they've done in the main roster, even the ones that are still there. And I just think of a guy like Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet, 100%. All Ricochet can do is wrestle. And he's great at it. He's incredible. He's one of the best at it, but he can't really talk. I kind of don't like his face, but he's a good wrestler. And they're not doing anything with him. He just gets beat. He's there. He's on television to get beat.
They got to move him to AEW and have him be with Leo and Dante.
Whoa, that's a crazy team.
There's your trios tag team for you. No, that's a trios to die
bring in
for.
Darius. I think that's what they look at Dante as. They look at Dante as a young Ricochet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely see that. And because he is. Okay, move. Could you hit the next slide there, Tam? And just one more here from the WWE moving people over. Walter is probably going to be coming to the US. And so he's probably going to be a full-time part of the NXT or main roster because he is more open to it now after being in NXT UK for such a long time. He didn't want to move to the States. He was fine with these stints in America, but he didn't want to do that. What are you laughing about? What are you?
I see the picture.
Oh no, that's
John
the next
Cena.
one. Oh,
And
that's
his
my next
arm's
slide.
all wacky.
I must have forgot to send that one, Tam. Well, we'll keep this picture up. Keep this John Cena broken arm picture up. We'll talk about it soon. But yeah, he's coming
I
over.
think that's a terrible idea. I think it's really fucking stupid. I don't think Walter should be in any of these companies. He's going to be completely underutilized. Terrible. But whatever. Hey, great. I can't wait for Walter to have like a soccer coach gimmick where he's trying to coach people how to play soccer. It's going to be great.
That's very funny, actually. You would be a very funny soccer coach.
Terrible.
But yeah, I hope him the best. And honestly, he's the type of person that might actually be pushed somewhere because of his entire aura. Like, he's a complete package.
Yeah, he'll be a tag team champion with Cesaro. That's about as high as he'll get.
You're fucking crazy. All right. Actually, we're going to talk about this slide right now.
Doesn't have a beard, doesn't have long hair.
The new WWE video game is coming out. They just let us have a little sneak peek. And I'm actually excited for it because they've revamped the engine. They're changing the controls. They're changing the engine. It's going to feel different, hopefully. Apparently, according to the tagline, it hits different. And so I'm very excited for it. Were you a WWE video game guy?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
When did you stop? When did you fall off?
I didn't get most of the games throughout the last decade, but I did get 19. I got 2K19. I played it for a while. Once you did that thing where you can download other people's created wrestlers, I got really into it because then I was like, cool, I don't care about the roster of the game. I just want to download like all of the other wrestlers who aren't in the game and play as them.
Sure.
So I got really into that stuff, and you can do the WCW arenas and all these custom arenas and stuff. Like, that was very fun for me. But yeah, I didn't get the most recent one.
Yeah, I guess it was around 2018, 2019 is the last time I was in there.
Yeah.
And but like, I stopped because I was just so broken down by these fucking video games. They're the same every year.
Yeah.
It's same every year. And I actually love creating wrestlers, and I love doing tournaments. I love doing tournaments. Actually, we really should get that going. I really want to get that stream going of me just playing video games.
That's such a good idea.
I shouldn't say it out loud because in case someone tries to steal it. But actually, I really should do that. Maybe I could do it with this computer. I have to figure it out. But what?
No, you're right.
I have to figure out, what do you need to, we'll talk about streaming after the show. But I'm excited for it. Very exciting stuff. Could you hit that next slide there, Tam? We got a record breaker.
Did you hear? I was just gonna say, never. I was gonna make a joke, but it's too late. Let's keep moving.
Say it right now.
I was gonna say, did you hear about the biggest perk of the new video game?
What?
It's gonna have a roster of 10 people. Just 10 people.
Because they all fired. They're all fired.
They fired everybody else. Yeah, it's just 10 people.
And by the way, THQ, like whatever the Ukes or whoever is doing it, they hate WWE. They hate them with a passion.
Well, it's 2K. Ukes is doing AEW's game.
Yeah.
They're bringing Ukes back.
That's right. Could you hit one more slide, Tam? I messed up the order.
There he is.
That's our boy Walter.
Walter.
And next up, we have a record breaker. Here. We have Randy Orton breaking a record, breaking most tying with Kane right now at most pay-per-view appearances. He's tied with Kane at 176. And this Sunday, he's going to beat him. Apparently, there's a pay-per-view tomorrow. I had no idea.
Survivor Series. Remember that
show?
Survivor
Series? Wow,
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But nobody cares.
The Survivor Series is said he's going to break it, beat Kane. Guess do you know who the next ones on the list are? Like on the ranking, like who's the top 5? So we got Randy Orton and Kane.
I would assume Shawn. Is Shawn Michaels not one of them?
Nope.
What? Really?
He had a break.
Well, Undertaker.
Undertaker is next. That's 174. Okay. So if he had 2 more, he'd be tied to. Okay, Sam.
What about Mark Henry?
No.
Homeboy wrestled full time for like 30 years or 20 years. Almost.
Yeah, but they didn't put him on pay-per-view. They didn't put him
what about Cena?
2005.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Cena is number 5 on the list, but who's between Taker and Cena? This should be easy.
Oh, it's Triple H?
It's Triple H. 173, and Cena's a distant 163. Excellent work. So yeah, very good for Randy Orton. I don't hate Randy Orton anymore. I think Randy Orton's grown up a lot the past few years.
Yeah.
Like especially when he spoke out about Black Lives Matter. And it was like for someone from St. Louis to do that, that's rough. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also like his background, like in the military.
Of being a
like
shithead.
That. Yeah, just being a shitty,
just being a shitty guy. But what we're gonna hit at the next tab there, Tim, and we've got a sad thing. And this is very sad news. Bull Nakano is dealing with a lot of stuff right now. Bull Nakano, legendary women's wrestler, former WWF champion, women's champion, and right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain she was a champion.
Yeah, she definitely feuded with Alundra Blaze for the title.
She has been diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. She's dealing with a lot right now, and it's really rough. She's having trouble with her stomach and all this things. Very sad, very just uncomfortable sounding. And LLW wishes Bull Nakano the best. Right, Brewster?
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet from her that said she was doing better and she was doing okay. She may just be saying that to make us feel better because everything you just described and what we've heard is pretty rough.
Pretty rough. And she also, the thing is, if you've seen her recently, she looks like $1 million fucking bucks.
Yeah. Like, well, do you know what happened to her post wrestling? Do you know what she did post wrestling?
What?
She became a professional golfer and made millions of dollars as a professional golfer in Japan.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Bull Nakano. Great for you, and I hope you get better. She started drinking. She said, like, ever since she started wrestling, and just kind of like a peer pressure type thing, just to be a part of the group.
Sure.
And that's rough. But why don't we wish you the best, Bull? And let's have her back in the ring. AEW, get her back in. We want her back.
Take a little time this week to all our listeners out there. Take some time to go to YouTube and watch Bull Nakano versus Aja Kong in a cage match from like 92 or 93, really early 90s. They fucking kill each other. And Bull Nakano hits this badass fucking leg drop from the top of the cage. I don't know how her whole body didn't break when she did that move. It's gnarly. It's great. Definitely check it out. This
is homework for all of you right now. It's Bull Nakano versus Aja Kong.
It'll be posted YouTube. On the Twitter.
It's gonna be posted on the Twitter on Loser Leaves Pod at Loser Leaves Pod. Wow, what a great time! But speaking of troubling diagnoses, next tab there, Tam. NXT 2.0 viewership plummeting. The viewership is plummeting. Since they started, they went from 700K to 570. So over 100,000 people lost this past week. And it also did
the lowest viewership in 18 to 49 in the history of any WWE show ever on the USA Network. Yeah.
Big fart noise. That's a LW fart noise. I should have picked a better picture.
I was gonna say I'm glad you chose that picture because that's like the worst segment of the history of television, maybe. In my opinion.
It bad?
He got his haircut at the end. This is like the poker showdown challenge or something because what's his name's a poker player, whatever his fucking name is.
Cameron Grimes.
Terrible. No, the other guy.
Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, whoever that is.
Beth Phoenix.
I think that's Duke Hudson.
Real quick, John Buseman says Bull versus Alundra SummerSlam 94 is a banger. It is. He also said US crowd who never saw a decent women's match got hot for it. It was a great match. That was actually I remember when I was trying to watch like that, everyone recommended that match. I was trying to watch a lot of Alundra stuff, Medusa stuff, and it's a shame. Oh man, do I feel bad for Medusa because Medusa she was stuck in the US. Bull would come here, but she went to Japan where she was treated well and she had awesome matches. But fucking Medusa was kind of stuck here where she like had a great match. Now she's a valet again.
Well, that's a great thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the problem is that she got false promised by Bischoff that they were going to start a women's division with her as like the weight behind it. She dumped the title in the trash, and then they had a good relationship. WCW had a good relationship.
They loved her. She's a bike rider.
Japan women's. Yeah. So they could have also, I think they might have brought in Bull Nakano at some point, but they brought in Akira Hokuto. She feuded with her. Like, they just didn't do enough. And then the division just disappeared after a while. She could have gone to Japan as part of WCW and fought people there. It just never really happened. She's got a book coming out or a documentary coming out or something. I'd be curious to see if she talks about that at all.
Yeah, I'd love to see her dig up some dirt. I would love to hear her bash people. But back to NXT 2. So there's talk of it going to TV 14. There's talk of it going to TV 14 to give it a little bit of edge because they are tired of this poo-poo caca humor and they want to show a tit. they want to be sexy. That's what they're going to end up doing. And also Beth Phoenix does say that they changed their commentary format where they're allowed to just be more natural and it's a looser format where they're able to just kind of like talk about what they're watching rather than being stuck, which I'm excited for. That's exciting. That's exciting, Rooster. We hate the WWE commentary system, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I hate it all, but I don't think that's going to help NXT 2.0 as long as you've got the poker player and the Italian guy and like all of these dumb gimmicks that suck and like the weird like woke culture guy and his like weird disciple that he's got. Like there's just so much bad shit on this show. It's all terrible. Other than Braun Breaker, I like Braun Breaker because he's like just like Breaker. a beat. And he looks like a biker.
Name. Rex Steiner's such a good name. Oh.
I'm appreciative of Braun Breaker because one day he's going to break out of those chains and become Rex Steiner, not the WWE, and that's going to be great.
I wonder if they own Rex Steiner.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, his name is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out. Wow, what a fun time we had with the news, but we're not over yet. That's the end of the news segment. News segment's over.
Well, can I drop?
Do you have some news?
I have one piece of news. Well, two pieces of news that I think are pretty exciting. GCW is starting an Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, which I think is really nice. There are wrestlers who absolutely deserve, like independent wrestlers, like lifelong indie wrestlers who deserve their recognition. Homicide being one of them, someone who never got to the WWE. I mean, he was an impact, but who really cares? Guy like Reckless Youth, who was really kind of braving the indie scene before there was really an indie scene. Like these guys deserve some recognition, and I hope they get it through
Amazing Red.
GCW. Yeah, Amazing Red is a perfect example.
But if they put fucking Necro Butcher in there, they will.
He absolutely deserves to be in there. I think
that blind bat fucking stapling people in the eyes when he's trying to do their forehead. He's fucking crazy.
I mean, Homeboy is also blind as well. Stan Hansen. Yeah,
but Stan Hansen. That's apples and oranges.
Stan Hansen.
The man could go and be blind. Like Necro Butcher cannot.
Did you ever hear the story about him and the AWA title?
Did
you ever hear about this? No, Stan Hansen.
Oh, Jesus. No.
They made him AWA champion, and Vern Gagne was like, we need you on this date to defend the title. And he was like, I got a booking in Japan. I'm not coming. And he was like, no, you got to show up. You're the champion. He's like, I'm getting paid more in Japan. I'm going to Japan. He's always chewing. He's like, well, then send the belt back, you son of a bitch. And he's like, I'll send it back to you, all right. And he threw it in his driveway and ran it over with his car multiple times. And then put the pieces in and shipped it to Vern Gagne. And he was like, there's the belt, you piece of shit.
I love that. I love Stan Hansen.
Don't fuck with Stan Hansen.
We have a comment from M Crash. M Crash says, referring to NXT being able to cuss all you want, still not watching.
Got that right.
You're damn right, M Crash.
Crash.
We appreciated your listener and patience.
The other piece of news that I have, which is interesting, I don't know if I care that much, but I think it's always worth talking about when they do stuff like this. So New Japan's biggest show of the year is Wrestle Kingdom. And this year it's going to be 3 nights. And on the third night, it's going to be a New Japan Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah crossover. Which is like cool. I like when companies do invasions and crossovers and stuff like that.
Crossovers are fun.
I don't know who's going to win, but it looks good. I'm excited for that. I will probably watch it at some point.
Hell yeah. Everyone should watch it. We all want to support wrestling. Got to support wrestling when we can. Any other news you got?
Those are the big ones.
That's the big ones. But we're not done yet because we got a little tweet of the week action. Tweet. Boom, boom, boom. Tweet. We have to come up with some theme songs.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get to it.
Slow and steady, 1% each week. Do you see this new layout that Tam did?
Beautiful.
It's very sharp. Do you see this? Very good job, Tam. Everyone give it up for Tam when you get a chance. Because Tam, did you see this resizing of the pictures in there?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. He's moving.
Tam's killing it. Amazing job. Everyone should think.
But the last, we have a tweet of the week.
So I chose a tweet of the week that's really light because, it's a tough week. These releases, some health issues for some wrestlers and stuff. So I picked something that was light. Danhausen has a broken leg right now. And, he's got to fill time somehow. And he's been calling the Gun Club the Ass Boys for a while. And recently he got Ass Boys to trend on Twitter, which is very funny. That's and in the tweet, Austin Gunn writes, "Good morning to everyone except Danhausen. This is what all our hard work has come down to. I hope you're happy." And it's a picture of Austin Gunn and then a screenshot of a text that he got from a friend that said, "Yo, I'm in London and tell me why Ass Boys is trending here." So Ass Boys is sweeping the nation.
Ass Boys is a great, honestly, that's very funny. That's because he's Mr. Ass. Presumably that's his last name.
Those are his sons, the Ass Boys.
Austin Ass and what is his name? Colton Ass.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, we're having fun. We're all having fun here. Thank you so much. Excellent tweet. And you can see all these tweets and more at tweet.com or whatever.
Tweet.com
at gmail.com. Thank you loserleaspod at loserleaspod on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, and we're going to start doing some more fun stuff. We're going to have some guests soon, so you should all check us out. Find us on Instagram for all this news and gossip that we have. A lot of gossip. Anything else to add on to put a button on the show?
No, I don't think so. That's a good time.
All right. Button. We killed it. We did a great job. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Tam. Thank you, all the commenters. We love you, Buse. We love you. You should reach out to me, Buse. You should reach out to me. The Royal will talk to you about that. Thank you all so much. Have a great one. I'm going to do a countdown. We're going to do a countdown. 10. You keep waving. 9, 8. Should I do 5? Okay, we'll start 5. 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, I keep waving. 1. Bye.
Ole. Ole.